Hello everyone, Jonathan Schlack, EA&Weather here with the severe weather update. I'm filling in for XBC Convective Outlook because he's currently without power and can't do these videos, so I'll be taking over for him for today. I'm going to start you off in the northeast United States where we have a slight risk for severe weather today that covers north central and east central Virginia, a very teeny tiny part of the panhandle of West Virginia, Washington, D.C., central and eastern Maryland, all of Delaware, eastern Pennsylvania, which includes my area, all of New Jersey, southeast New York State, which includes New York City and most of Long Island. It also includes most of Connecticut, most of Massachusetts, southern Vermont, and south central New Hampshire, with a margin risk for severe weather that surrounds it, that covers northern North Carolina, very far northeastern Tennessee, most of Virginia, pretty much, most of West Virginia, the panhandle of Maryland, parts of central Pennsylvania, east central New York State, a very teeny tiny part of eastern Long Island, southeastern Connecticut, all of Rhode Island, eastern Massachusetts, as well as most of Vermont, most of New Hampshire, and a lot of Maine. And going back here, we have two margins in place back here. Two other margins, I should say. We have a margin risk down here across northeastern Texas, southeastern Oklahoma, and southwestern Arkansas. And we have a margin up here that covers east central and southeastern Wyoming, far southwestern South Dakota, western Nebraska, western Kansas, eastern Colorado, the western panhandle of Oklahoma, northwestern Texas, and northeastern New Mexico. So, going to the tornado threat for today. The tornado threat is less than 2% in all areas, so there's not really a tornado threat for today. There's no risk area for a tornado today. You can't rule one out entirely, but the Storm Prediction Center says there's not really a tornado risk for today and has no risk areas. Now going to the wind threat for today, we have a 15% chance of damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour higher today that covers north central and east central Virginia, a teeny tiny part of the panhandle of West Virginia, Washington, D.C., central and eastern Maryland, all of Delaware, eastern Pennsylvania, which includes my area, all of New Jersey, southeastern New York State, which includes New York City and most of Long Island. It includes most of Connecticut, most of Massachusetts, south central Vermont, and south central New Hampshire. And we have a 5% chance of damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour higher today. That covers northern North Carolina, far northeastern Tennessee, most of Virginia, most of West Virginia, the panhandle of Maryland, central Pennsylvania, east central New York State, a teeny tiny part of Long Island, southeastern Connecticut, all of Rhode Island, eastern Massachusetts, most of Vermont, most of New Hampshire, and a lot of Maine. Going back here, we have a 5% chance of damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour higher today that covers southeastern Oklahoma, northeastern Texas, and southwestern Arkansas. And we have a 5% chance of damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour higher today back here that covers east central and southeastern Wyoming, far southwestern South Dakota, western Nebraska, eastern Colorado, far western Kansas, the western part of the panhandle of Oklahoma, northwestern Texas, and northeastern New Mexico. And going to the hail threat for today, we have a 5% chance of hail of 1 inch in diameter or larger. Don't want to just update on me. And we have a 5% chance of hail of 1 inch in diameter or larger today that covers east central and southeastern Wyoming, the far southwestern corner of South Dakota, western Nebraska, eastern Colorado, the very far extreme western edge of Kansas, and northeastern New Mexico. So, now going to the summary for today, isolated strong to severe thunderstorms are possible from the Carolinas to New England, into New England on Wednesday, which is today. with a corridor of greater coverage from northeast Virginia into the Hudson Valley and adjacent southern Vermont, New Hampshire, and western Massachusetts. Isolated strong to severe thunderstorms are possible across the central high plains in northeast Texas and the southwest Arkansas as well. Now going to the Day 2 outlook now. We have 2 margin risk areas for tomorrow. One margin risk area for tomorrow covers southeastern Virginia, eastern half of North Carolina, and northeastern South Carolina. We have a margin risk back here for tomorrow that encompasses far eastern Wyoming, southwestern South Dakota, western Nebraska, northwestern Kansas, eastern Colorado, far western panhandle of Oklahoma, the far northwestern corner of Texas, and northeastern New Mexico. Now the tornado threat for tomorrow is less than 2% in all areas for tomorrow, so there's not really a tornado threat for tomorrow either. So, going to the wind threat for tomorrow, we have a 5% chance of damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour higher tomorrow. That covers southeastern Virginia, the eastern half of North Carolina, and northeastern South Carolina. Going back here, we have a 5% chance of damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour higher tomorrow. That covers far eastern Wyoming, southwestern South Dakota, western Nebraska, eastern Colorado, northwestern Kansas, the far western panhandle of Oklahoma, northwestern Texas, and northeastern New Mexico. Now going to the hail threat for tomorrow, we have a 5% chance of large hail of 1 inch in diameter or larger tomorrow. That covers far eastern Wyoming, southwestern South Dakota, western Nebraska, parts of eastern Colorado, and northeastern New Mexico. Now the summary for tomorrow indicates isolated strong to severe thunderstorms are possible Thursday, which is tomorrow, in the afternoon across the central and southern high plains as well as from the Virginia Tidewater across the eastern Carolinas. So that's all I got for today. Again, I'm filling in for XPC Convective Outlooks while he is without power. Hopefully, XPC Convective Outlooks gets his power back soon, but anyway, stay safe in the affected areas both today and tomorrow, and I will have another update tomorrow. Take care.